to the Values Workshop 87 on inspiration. And as always, before we begin, we'll take a few moments to reflect. What is the guiding force in my life? It could be a person, or it could be some situation which has inspired me in the past. So looking back at that moment of inspiration from that event or the person, let me try to look at my life journey so far. What is it that has inspired me all through my journey? And also, have I been the source of inspiration for someone? I'm sure the answer is yes. So from today's workshop, let's try to explore this value of inspiration also on a spiritual level, at a deeper level. So with these few moments of reflection, let me also welcome the entire facilitators and the interpreters team. So welcome all of you, Sister Anu and Sister Shruti from the west coast of US and Canada, and all the interpreters. And also a big hearty welcome to our total 40 participants. Thank you for being on time, because it's good to start on time, because we always have an icebreaker video as well, which takes away a few more minutes of the workshop. So let's begin. So it's 87 workshops so far. And this next icebreaker video, I would just want to brief you all that you all have seen a few clips of these in our previous workshops as well. So there are quite a few things to take away. The few things are written in front of you, as you can see on the screen. But what inspiration do you get from this video? It has a few clips successively going on, and the beautiful ones, I must say. So let's see what insights you get. And I heard in the chat box that I wasn't audible. I hope I am audible.
No, you are audible. I think Linda is asking because her audio is not connected. She has to connect.
Okay, fine. So thanks for confirming. Right. So I think participants are eager. They've opened their video. Thank you so much. So if you all can just share what insights you all get. We had 4 successive videos, inspirations gained. Okay. Maria Di Carmo Baccarin. Big name. I hope I pronounced it correctly. So brother, you want to share? Insights gained. You have to unmute. I'll unmute. I've given you a prompt. Okay. Okay, so in the meantime, if other people want to share, so we'll be giving you the links to these. We'll be sharing all these in the PowerPoint, as the entire PowerPoint in the emails later, Linda. So don't worry. Okay. Silence is also an inspiration, I know, but it's good if you all can help us with your chat box sharings if you all wish. We have 4 minutes, so make use of the time. Okay. Hope I'm not missing anyone. The facilitators want to speak something. What inspired you all? You're also silent. It's good. Okay. So Reina, as always, thank you so much for being our savior for the day. Wherever teamwork is required, it's good to go for it. Yeah, okay, good. So go for the teamwork. Right, thanks. What else? Yes, you all were saying something. Ashruti, Ben, go ahead.
I think it's all about togetherness. As everybody
Together.
comes together, they achieve things.
Okay, fantastic. So Portuguese, Brother Manuel saying we all have best results when we are in cooperation. Yes, fantastic. And Senam saying amazing clips. The power of resistance reflected when all were together. Yeah, you could see that they sort of didn't want him to breathe all those ants. So it reflected, and this is what the BK family reflects to. Okay, good. So BK is, for those who don't understand, it's a short form of Brahma Kumaris. I'm sure by now the people who are not so much into the BKs, Brahma Kumaris, you all know all our jargons. So bear with our short forms. Okay, and Lara's sister, I think it's Portuguese. So if Manuel Bhai, you want to translate, yeah. Okay, and Brother Maria, you are inspired to speak? Oh, it's okay. I think we'll respect you because your video is on, I thought, because of that. Yeah, we have quite a few new people.
Geeta Ben is, I'm not sure,
She's also,
incognito, but I met her.
yeah, so I saw that. Good. Yeah, so Lara's sister is saying, sorry, I'm saying Behan in Hindi. Everything is easier when united in the same direction. Okay, fine. Yeah. So a purpose, a direction of the entire group in the same direction also is right. Perfect. Yeah. Okay. And oh yeah. Okay. So it was Sister Maria. I'm sorry, I said Brother Maria. Sorry, sister. Okay, so I think quite a few sharings, more of togetherness and cooperation coming up and working in groups. And it was mentioned traveling in groups. I think as human beings, we do that and we enjoy. The summer has started. Yeah, and let me tell you, we've completed the Easter Sunday, and this inspiration talk, which was given by both the brothers last time, it was right bang in between the Easter Sunday and the Good Friday. A lot of inspirations to gain from Jesus Christ's life. So we'll see in the revisions. So over to Sister Anu, and thank you for all for the sharings. Over to you for the first exercise. Thanks.
Thank you, Brother Manoj. And yes, beautiful sharings came out. So what inspires us is something that really touches many people at the same time. And then a team gets together and we move forward with all the zeal. That was really beautiful video. Now let's move on to our first exercise. Oh, qualities of inspiration will reflect on the qualities of inspiration. So we know when it's a inspiration, how it makes us so much full with zeal and enthusiasm. We really cooperate.
Next time he asked me. Sorry.
Sorry? Anyone speaking?
Well, it's some translator coming in between, or it's some participant. Anyway, it's just written BK. Yeah, carry on, no problem. Go ahead.
So when we come together, there's something that brings us together, the zeal, enthusiasm, we are filled to do whatever we are doing together. So let's look at the qualities that bring that inspiration within us. So for that, let's reflect on a person in our lives who has inspired us through his actions, his or her actions. So we know people around us inspire us. So let's reflect on one person. Just reflect on one person who is coming to your mind right now who has inspired you. That was very distinctive and really big way. So that's why you're remembering it right now. And as you remember that person, reflect on the qualities or behavior pattern or what is that person demonstrated that inspired you. So that way, let's reflect on the qualities that are inspiring. And I'll play some music for that. So we'll take a minute to reflect. I'm sure you caught that person and the qualities the person demonstrated that were inspiring. So, and I'm sure, I'm really hoping that you are inspired to share with us. So, please, whoever like to share that inspiring person and the qualities, what is that that makes inspiring for you? That person becomes inspiring. Please share, unmute and share. Anyone would like to? Yes, Brijpal Bhai, you want to share?
Yeah. This last Saturday, actually 29th, 30th and 31st of March, I attended this Gyan Yog Bhatti at ORC Manesar. That is why I could not attend this discourse on inspiration last Saturday.
Nice.
Anyway, there, Didi Geeta has spoken the process of silence which has inspired me most. What is that? I will tell you in brief. First, be in silence. Second is the sweet silence. That is, you consider that you are the soul, and soul is here in between the two eyebrows in the forehead. Third is the deep silence. When you detach yourself and all the worldly matters and the relationship from the body. And the last is the death silence. That is, you consider yourself the seed. And when the seed, the resource joins the source, the point of light, then you attain powers from him, and then miracle happens, and you are in the blissful stage. And if you do daily in Amrit Vela, you will see its effect yourself and you will feel it. That is what has inspired me most. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So beautiful. That is the deep practice of spirituality that we do at Brahma Kumari. So at the end, staying in my truth, where my role, my existence in this role, body, name doesn't exist. That's beautiful. And you said Sister Geeta in ORC, she took you through this program and that inspired. Thank you so much, Brijpal Bhai, for sharing that. Anyone else would like to share? Yeah. So the 4 stages of silence, beautifully explained by Brijpal brother. And Sanem in the chart is sharing resilience. So yeah, Sanem, you'd like to speak and share if possible?
Thank you, Anu. Yeah, I wrote resistance, which actually is also resilience, together within a group. It's always good and was reflected in the videos. And what I can think of is, firstly, and especially by all those brothers and sisters who have medical backgrounds in the BK family, it is very helpful to hear and to be inspired what benefit has on our minds and intellects when we know more about how it all works within our bodies that we have to look after, because the body is our instrument. So that would be one thing I would like to share here. Must not always be from the medical background, but to have all the sharings from everybody else who has all the knowledge. It's knowledge of 5,000 years, and a lot of knowledge, and it's inspiration just to have it in small bits. Even just one step, 1 second, everything helps. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you, Sanem. Yeah, I think there's a scientific way maybe the medical field or professionals bring to spirituality, as well as you said, everyone has a spiritual depth to their different experiences of life. And when we listen to that, all of the different ways that inspires and really helps us to also progress very well. Thank you so much, Sanam. Manuel Brother, who is our Portuguese translator, is saying some students from this institution of Brahma Kumaris inspire him because by seeing how they are making their transformation in such a beautiful and inspiring way through courage, commitment, and love. Yeah, commitment is needed. And spiritual means that deep, pure love, acceptance, no judgment, and courage to stay true to myself. With that, the transformation happens. Thank you, Manuel, brother. Anyone else would like to share? Who has inspired you? And what is that you saw in them? Yes, Rena, sister.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, like the brother shared last week, Brahma Baba, takes inspiration from everybody, and I take inspiration from Brahma Baba because every single person we met, we meet, or has met, they either inspire you as to how to be, or they inspire you as to how not to be. So every single person is as a lesson for us. So that way, I treat everybody so that there is no, I don't feel like, okay, I don't have to meet this person because I have to learn something from this person.
Yeah, beautiful thing you brought attention to. So if we see some people or some behavior that doesn't inspire us, we don't like, we know that we don't want to be like that. So that's the inspiration we want to take. Yes, Denise, sister, would like to share?
Oh, hi. I just recently reconnected with a friend from university days, and I was reflecting before this talk, this session here, on what inspired me about her. She was the one that took me skydiving and got me into Outward Bound and all these things. And it was really her qualities, the courage, the enthusiasm for life, her sweetness at the same time, like the balance of humility and sweetness with this courage and enthusiasm and inner joy that she just expresses wherever she goes, and a can-do attitude. So yeah, it's interesting topic to think about the people that inspire us.
Yeah,
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you for the beautiful sharing, courage, and really being able to do that as well. So skydiving is amazing. Anyone else would like to share? So maybe I would like to share just one thing to add to Sanam's, like the medical or scientific perspective. One thing I heard lately, there's Dr. Prashant from Cambridge, that how a seed is taking the dirt. Seed needs the dirt around it, and it replicates its own good quality using the dirt around itself. And that's how the root forms, the tree grows, the fruit comes. It was really inspiring for me that sometimes when I get stuck seeing not right to me or not good behavior, then that's how in the Brahma Kumaris, in the spirituality, we say welcome everybody, because I have to not forget my own qualities and skills, and that is what will expand, not the negativity or anything that we see around us. So like that, if we look around, we take a lot of inspiration for our own growth and being inspiring for others as well. So thank you everyone for your beautiful sharings. I think we can look at what is that we got. We have Deepak Bhai, who is taking note of all of it. So yeah, from Geeta Didi, the spiritual retreat at ORC that inspired the brother, where all the 4 stages of silence that really inspired to really go deep into that silence. And then inspiration of brothers and sisters around from medical background who remind us with persistent ions and researches of benefits of meditation for mind and intellect, and also remind us to the wealth of knowledge that can enrich us, and that is everyone is bringing some deeper knowledge from their experiences that inspire us. Some students from this school, how beautifully and inspiringly they are transforming themselves using through courage, commitment, and love. And our founding father, Brahma Baba, who was known as Dada Lekhiraj, who was the very well-known wealthy diamond merchant. So he inspires each of us, and he inspires with so many like wealth of qualities. But the one that has come up is equanimity, that is staying stable in the stage of praise and defamation, the same, and other qualities. Life story of Brahma Baba itself is highly inspiring. A friend who shows balance and I can do attitude and inspires the sister to do whatever we might not ever think. Nature and trees that inspire us. So yeah, thank you everyone. Beautiful sharings. Now we'll move on to our next to deepen these feelings through meditations. Over to you, Manoj.
Okay, so thank you all for your sharings of the people whom you were inspired from. So let's again sit back, relax. The next 4 or 5 minutes, try to enter into this deeper consciousness of the self that all of us are. The tiny, conscient beings of light that all of us are. And as each one of you tries to situate yourself in this soul conscious nature of the self, you'll see that in this peaceful silence which we are experiencing now, there's definitely an inspiration coming from the Supreme Being, who at each and every moment in my life is always there to inspire me. And I just have to tune into that frequency at which the Supreme Being is vibrating. This beautiful practice of going within, being introverted, opens my inner world. And I really get inspired by so many treasures which I have within me. being in solitude, called ekant in Hindi, which means ek ke ant, which means going into the depths, the remembrance of this Supreme Being, the one and only one who is ever present for me, always in my life. So with this one technique of going into silence, solitude, and introversion, I can really deepen the experience of inspirations from the Supreme Being. And with this, now we move on to the next activity, which is all about the action planning. And this meditation or whatever reflection we did was just to induce you into the action planning for the next exercise. I'll stop sharing the screen and over to Sister Shruti. Thank you.
Thank you, Manoj. So, one of the things that we are taught here at the Brahma Kumaris is that every time we encounter or every time we meet somebody, that person is really acting as a reflection of what's within us. So whether we like something, dislike something, get inspired, it's really qualities and virtues that are present within us. So with all the reflection that we have done, both with our icebreaker, the first exercise, with our meditation, in this portion of the exercise or this portion of the workshop, what we will do is reflect on what are some of those best practices that I've always admired, but how do I make them come alive? I already have those qualities, which is why I notice them. So how do I make sure that that becomes more prevalent? It becomes a practice. And that way I become an inspiration, both for myself and for others now and in the future. So true to our style, a minute or so of reflection, and then we'll come back to share. So once again, everything that you have liked in others, all the qualities that have inspired you, they are already in you. What can you do? What practice can you adopt so that those inspirations come alive and you become an inspiration for others and for yourselves going forward? So a minute or so of reflection. Mm. We can come back and let's start discussing what were some of your reflections. I already see a few things in the chat. Swati says cheerfully, peaceful, and soft spoken. That's going to be her practice. That's wonderful. There is something in Portuguese, Brother Manuel, if you could translate that for me. Manoj Bhai says, respect for each individual. That shall be my best practice. What about others? Would anybody like to unmute and speak? Yeah, Raina, is that you? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so there was one sister who was the speaker many months ago. I remember very clearly what she said, that we have to understand that no matter how good we are, okay, in my example, no matter how good I am, I have to remember that there is always somebody who's better than me. There always be somebody who's better than me, or there will be somebody who's not as good as me. Okay, so I have to understand this. I'm saying this because, you know, when we see somebody, I see this tendency in a lot of people. When we see somebody, either we are very impressed about them, or we feel very inferior to them. We feel very either that, or we feel very superior to them, or we are highly impressed. We become a fan of that people. All the three is not required. So if I'm able to inculcate what they have, their values, okay, good for me. But if I'm not able to do it, let me be appreciative of them and think about ways to help them, or be good to them at least. Okay, because I can see some people, I don't want to take names. I can see some people who feel not very good about what others are doing, and what they do is they try to pull them down. Okay, so I don't do that personally. I feel appreciative of everybody who's doing better than me. And if somebody is not doing better than me, I think of ways of helping them. Okay, so that would be my practice.
Very nice. So appreciating and helping others. Very nice. And I think Brother Manuel translated. So Miva said, behave in a respectful and loving manner. Thank you. Edna says, looking for, sorry, I missed you there. Where did you? Edna says, looking for goodness in everyone, always focusing on the positive side and ignoring the negative side. Very nice. Ida says, I think when you send a powerful vibration of love through your mind and eyes to them, and sweet face. I think that's going to be her practice. But before I move on to the next couple of messages, would anybody like to unmute and share? We love hearing your voice. Sanam, would you like to share instead of
Sorry,
me
maybe
reading?
Mahesh. Yeah, Mahesh Bhai can share because he's written. Mahesh
Please
Bhai,
go ahead, even Sanam. Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
so I would say that exercise every day, read every day, live a simple life, eat simple, sleep early, wake up early. So these are the things I would do to inspire others or inspire myself.
Very nice.
Om Shanti. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Yeah. Sanam, go ahead.
Yes, I'm very sorry. This because Sanam loves to listen, and the ears are happy when she listens to whenever when she writes something. So I can, I can share this too. So constantly studying, and this is the inspiration in life, and constantly studying the muli, the spiritual studies, and not I'm not talking about the other things, and also experiencing, not just studying. Because the experience reflects what we study. And I think this is important to be yogyukt and not to just to learn, and also to practice it. Keeping track on every moment of success is good, what I've learned recently when I was speaking to somebody who was a Vitti City. So when you follow the route, when you follow the Shrimat, whatever you hear, you'll succeed. And I think keeping track of that is very helpful. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. And of course, for those who are not familiar with the Brahma Kumaris, Murli is what we call our spiritual teachings, and Srimad is just the best advice that we get from the divine. Anybody else? Yes, please go ahead, Prajpal Bhai.
You see, the first and the foremost is the regularity and punctuality. That helps and inspires everyone who is coming to Murlis. Then the continuous remembrance of him. That is very necessary. Then you should remember the 7 qualities of the soul. That inspires the self and the others as well. Then for deep remembrance, I remember one share right from the young age, which I will say in Hindi. तेरा काम है जलना परवाने, चाहे क्षमा जले या ना जले, तो पंख जला ले दीवाने, चाहे क्षमा जले या ना जले. It is the deep remembrance to God. And then what inspires is the profound love with the entity. And it is true in the Lokik word as well as Lokik word, for which I will repeat one share again, which I am remembering since my childhood. हर दिल की तमन्ना हुआ करती है, टीस उठ के जिगर से दिल का राज कहा करती है. ये बात और है कि हर कोई ताज महल न बना सके, मगर हर दिल में मुमताज रहा करती है. The East, here is my Shiva. It is in the Lokik word. And then it is also very important that you create a thought of abundance. Thought is very important and it inspires. And if you create a thought of abundance, then you have enough to give. You start giving. Remember, giving is receiving. And you can learn lessons from the nature also. The trees, the river, the mountains. And so start giving to others. Thank you.
Very nice. A lot of points there. I'll just take a few of those. One was about being regular and punctual, because then you act as an example, studying and having good thoughts. And the 2 pieces of poetry that Brother Prajpal was talking about, the first one was burn like a moth, even if the flame is off. So whether the flame is burning or not, you continue to burn. And the second one was everybody wakes up with deep love. And this is in comparison with the love between Emperor Shah and his wife Mumtaz, for whom he made the Taj Mahal. And he was comparing that with his love for God. So it's everybody has the love, but not everybody can make Taj Mahal. So even though, and that's the example that he was using in that beautiful couplets. Anybody else? We have quite a few sharings in the chat. How about I start going through some of them? So Linda says, I have such gratitude for these Saturday value sessions. Thank you all to the team. Thank you. We love being here as well. Sukhbir says, look at everyone's specialities. Anuvan says, staying detached from my role and my story, consciously being in my true form, which is a soul, seeing all as souls and holding positive, respectful feelings and gratitude for all in my heart and mind. Lara has something in Portuguese, which has been translated to say, first, truly realize that I have the qualities, powers, and virtues that is enough to access them, as others have already achieved this, and I develop self-respect and respect for others. So I think she's saying I have the qualities and virtues and I can access them. And once I see that, I can develop self-respect for myself and others. That's how I took that. And I think with that, I think we can quickly summarize. Deepak Bhai, if you want to share your screen. So again, lots of wonderful points. Staying detached, remembering my true form, which is more than my body or soul, and seeing everybody as souls as well, not just their body and everything that comes with it, and holding only positive, respectful feelings and gratitude for all in my heart and mind, being cheerful, peaceful, and soft-spoken, respect for everyone, behaving in a respectful and loving manner, understanding that some people are better and some people may not be as good, but nonetheless appreciate them and be helpful. Look at everyone's good qualities, realize that I have qualities, powers, and virtues, and that is enough, and I can access them. Others have also been achieving this. I develop self-respect and respect for others, looking for goodness in everyone, sending powerful vibrations of love through mind and eyes and the sweet face, constantly studying and experiencing spiritual teachings and keeping tracks of moments of success, and congratulate myself or the self for every moment that we experience. Follow the process and trust the process. Gratitude for sessions of gratitude, I would say, for everything and everyone. Exercise, read, lead a simple life, eat simple, sleep early, wake up early, regularity, punctuality, deep remembrance, and love for God. So lovely, lovely points. And at this point, I will hand it back to Manoj Bhai for the next portion.
Yes, so thank you so much, all of you, for your sharings, and we are eagerly awaiting one of our other sisters as well, Sister Anjani, who will be joining soon, but we already have Sister Geeta, who has been with us patiently in the background.
Anjani's sister is also here. I think she
And
has
she's
just.
also, okay. So before we give it on to them in the next 15 minutes, and maybe before earlier than that, we'll speak about the people who had missed, like Brijpal Bhai missed their inspiration. So I'll give you a summary of what both the senior Raj Yogi brothers, both Erics from US and Canada, had to share about inspiration. It was actually, they were motivated by Sister Claudia to speak a little bit about Christmas, and they were taken aback. So it all started with betrayal. That was the word which was funnily used by them. But again, they took it in the right spirit. They started with Moses. All of us in Christianity know on the stones, the 10 commandments. You can see his photo is here. He's an inspirational figure in Christianity. And as an analogy, it was shared that after being lost, he was just actually searching for God, a lot of intense search. And then he finally found that, and then he wrote those 10 commandments. So basically, they were trying to say that when information becomes inspiration, it is quite stimulating. And that's what Moses also did, because he then wrote down those 10 commandments, which form the basis of the Bible, which people refer to, the Christians. And this is what it was said about search for the supreme being, which all of us also on that journey. And I think the search for us has ended because we have finally found that entity. And they were speaking quite humorously about being inspired after being betrayed. So taking into, again, this context, they were speaking about Jesus Christ, who was actually betrayed and put on the cross. But while being on the cross, he specifically mentioned, all of you know that Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they are doing. So these were the inspiring words, which again, a lot of compassion, forgiveness, mercy, these three values which form the core of Christianity. And why we are speaking so much about Christianity, it was because this was during the last weekend, and we had the Good Friday just passed by, and Easter Sunday was just about to come, and we were sandwiched in between on Saturday. So it was a lot to share about how Christ was inspired, and he in turn inspired so many other people, the entire worldwide, where there's a lot of Christianity spread out, the Western countries particularly, how he has been a source of inspiration for them. And also coming to the spiritual perspective of inspiration, both the brothers were on the same page that inspiration is equal to elevated energy. It's an answer that comes and brings with it an elevated energy. And all of us know that the universe gives us insight. I'm sorry, apologies if you're like expecting me to read each and every line. I don't do that usually because we have limited time. So I try to sort of summarize that slides, and don't worry, we'll be sending you these in the review materials as we do it after the workshop in the next few days. So please bear with me. So coming to, as I was saying, that the universe gives us insight, and it's our duty to catch this insight and go on with that. So this spiritual consciousness, which all of us are working on by trying to be more and more soul conscious and also God conscious or supreme being conscious, connecting with him. So that helps us in catching this universal insights coming from the divine being. Other thing which I liked was said that about aspiration and inspiration. So if my aspiration, if I want to achieve something, is very ego-based, which is a very body consciousness aspect, then my mindset, which we say in Hindi, the word vritti, the attitude will be very different. It will be about, this brother Eric from Canada said, it will be of comparing, competing, complaining, criticizing, all those negative C's which we go into. But if my aspiration is a purely spiritual based, I'll be away from all this and I'll be in more of the other C, what we call compassion and cooperation. After this, quite a few questions were asked. We'll see how much we can cover in the next 10 minutes. So the first question was, at workplace, very common scenario, people don't appreciate me or inspire me. I mean, I do something good, but no one even says a good word for that. And I feel very left out and uncared for. So how do I do self-inspiration, self-motivation? So the answer was that instead of looking outside, seeking reward, seeking appreciation, look within for new ideas and fresh energy to be happy. And let's not expect appreciation, because nowadays people may just appreciate on an outwardly basis. So let me try to find a way to be inspired from within. And then if we start doing this, you'll see people will start appreciating you. And then you won't sort of have this need to be appreciated from anyone. It will be yourself motivated. So that's what was the answer. Then it comes to two very important, again, spiritual enemies, I must say as well here, the enemies of inspiration and enemies of any value or any virtue for that matter. So it is carelessness and laziness. In Hindi, we call it albelapan is carelessness and laziness is alas. So beautifully put out, I'll read the third or the fourth line, the third line, that carelessness is the cause of extinguishing inspiration. Because I'm careless, I don't feel inspired. And laziness is the after effect of that. Because I am not inspired, then I really feel very lazy and don't want to do things. So the answer to this was how to deal with them is reflect on what's happening within you and what you really want. And as we tried to do in this brief 5-minute meditation, we were trying to go within and seeing at our inner core, the inner core of virtues, what we are. So if I'm not happy with what's happening inside, with what's happening outside in my life, then I have to take some little steps to do a few things which will bring an energy of change definitely. And for that, again and again, this inner work, I'm sure both the senior Rajogis who are with us in the next hour, they'll share that how do we really gain inspiration also on our spiritual journey, because all of us, I must say, are on a spiritual journey, each to his own, but in some way or the other, we are all on the spiritual journey. Coming to a very unique question was, is there a way to inspire the younger generation with topics of spirituality, God, without confusing them? Or rather, I must say, the younger generation seems to be so preoccupied with many other things. They may not want God in their life at the moment, or spirituality for that matter. So the answer was that, I'm sorry, I don't remember which Eric, either C or K, which one was saying this, but the answer was, when you're with the youth, be youthful. I mean, bring your younger you. Don't try to impose yourself or that you are the senior. So it's like this. I remember here the example of a spiritual founder of the organization, Brahma Baba. He was the one who always, like, when he was in the company of seniors, elderlies, he used to behave like an elder man. But while he was in the company of younger ones, he used to really become like them. So it's important that you come to their level. So it will help them to speak out freely and then also listen to them openly. And that's the best way to connect with them. I think Eric, brother from Canada, Montreal, he said this, that that's the best way to deal with younger ones. And yeah, the next question was a beautiful one, that what inspired each of them to come to Brahma Kumaris? I'll take the first from brother Eric from New York. He said that for him, it was the basis, the knowledge, the understanding that he hadn't heard before. And it just resonated with him so much that I am the soul. I don't have a soul, but I am the soul. And was an amazing recognition for him. Whereas brother Eric from Canada, it was for him, it was really about a whale. And it was like, he said that it triggered something. The whale is the big animal, you know, it's a mammal actually, it's not a fish, it's a mammal staying in water. And while he was looking at the whale, it triggered inside him that nature inspired him to be pure like the whale. And after that, as he came into contact with the Brahma Kumaris, it was one of the former heads, Dadi Prakash Mani. He heard the teachings of Brahma Kumaris from there, and he said he wanted to become like her. That is very pure and angelic. So I think I have 4 more minutes. Yeah, but I think I've finished before time. That's good. So I have ample of time to introduce both of them. So welcome both of you. If you can please highlight them, I'll just stop sharing the screen. And yeah, so let me first thank both of you. Sister Geeta, a big thanks to you. We were trying to catch you up since last 2 years, but destiny. Big thanks to Sister Anjani, because she said, I want to do it as a conversation. And then we were trying to hunt out for people, but some people weren't around. And then it was Sister Geeta. And then thanks. So it's divine destiny, I always feel. So thank you so much, both of you. And Sister Anjani has been with us, but again, I'll introduce her. She always sends only few lines. So I'll be speaking about those few lines. And let's start first with Sister Geeta. She's a very senior instrument at the Brahma Kumaris. I must say this time we have both the East Coast and the West Coast, the sisters from there. And yesterday you all know about the big, the earthquake, the shocks which happened on the East Coast. So we have Sister Anjani from the East Coast and Sister Geeta from the West Coast. So let's start with Sister Geeta. She was born in East Africa, and throughout her life, she had the fortune, she says, of being introduced and immersed in both the cultures, the Eastern and the Western. Then she went on to do BCom, the Bachelor's Commerce degree in India, and then worked in London, UK. And then she is on this spiritual path from almost 1979, when she was introduced to the Brahma Kumaris. And then it's almost 45 years now that she's the lead coordinator of the BKs in the Southern California region. And also, just to let all of you know that she also coordinates after Sister Chandru, who left the body a few years ago. So she also looks after the activities of the West Coast of US. She sort of is the caretaker for the entire West Coast. And she, though is based in LA, Los Angeles, but she travels extensively. And also, as I must say, that 45 years of a meditative lifestyle. And coming to Sister Anjani, as we speak, she is right now sitting in the Harmony House, where she's the coordinator for the center there at the Global Harmony House. And very humbly, she's just written that she's been practicing Raj Yoga for over 40 years. So if I combine the experience of both of 40 plus 45, so we have 85 years of meditative experience. So I'm sure we'll have a lot of inspiring words of wisdom from them. And as always, before I give it to them, I still have a minute. I'm watchful of the time. So I always try to introduce in the form of a poem. So a few lines for both of them together. In this fast-paced world, where there's hardly any time to respire, both the wonderful angels from USA shall indeed guide us and inspire with their thought-provoking wisdom, which doesn't at all expire, but indeed motivates us to do more effort and perspire, so that we attain everything in life, all that we aspire, and then there's no room left for fulfilling any other desire. Through their life, they teach us that life is not there to retire, but to keep strengthening the self with the yoga fire, which helps us indeed to deal with the Maya vampire. That is the need of the hour and is indeed very dire. So finally, let's connect ourselves with the Supreme, with the spiritual wire, so that the Supreme always wants me in his service for a higher. So thank you, both of you, once again, and the stage is all yours. So over to you. Thank you.
Om Shanti and good morning from New York. And it would be good evening to some places. It would be good night to some places. And so we are very happy. Now I can speak for myself, that I am very happy and very inspired to join this wonderful family here on Zoom, who is always inspired to be present every Saturday morning for whatever is being shared by the inspiring speakers. Or even your workshop this morning was very inspiring. And so each one has come this morning with a lot of inspiration to share that will inspire everyone's lives to be better, to be of a higher quality, to be better in themselves. And I feel that Manoj Bhai and team, you are great inspirations for all of us. When I think of inspiration, I reflected back to my childhood days. And I asked myself, what was the one most impactful thing besides studying and being with friends and enjoy life as a whole, the goodness of my parents and all of that? What was one thing that stood out from all the people? And I remembered my grandmother. She was a very, powerful source of inspiration that has given me a lot of deep, as we say, sanskars, or helping me to create that deep love for God and for humanity. And when we were little children, she would wake us up early in the morning. We were about 30 grandchildren around her. And all those who were at the age that she could, wake them up, she would make sure that we're up, give us a bath herself, make sure we are all cleaned up, and teach each one of us how to pour water to the sun, repeating the mantra for the sun. And then she would gather all of us together in her prayer room, and we will sit there and do our prayers, chant or the bhajans or whatever is the mantras she will teach us. Then she will also teach us that you can't get up and run because we are late for class, to go into school. So she would say, no, you have to walk quietly and you have to go and touch the feet of the elders, teaching us respect, teaching us how to love our elders. And so I was remembering her a great deal, and many times in my journey of life, I have remembered her for these special teachings that she has given. But also what was another aspect of her life as an inspiration was going to school. And we were living in an area where, you know, it wasn't roads. It was more like mud dams. And so when the rain would fall, you know, it's not very easy to walk on that. And so she would put the children, and we were living along a river. So she would get all the grandchildren in the boat, and then she would take us to school, come back and take who else she needs to. And when it's tea time, we would take our lunch to school, but we used to have our after school lessons. She would bring tea and some snacks and all of that. But she never watched out only for the many grandchildren that she had. She made the whole neighborhood children who were going to school, they all became her children. They all became her grandchildren, in fact. And she was looking out for the whole community. And we had a temple in the area. She would always be the leader in the temple to lead for all the work that has to happen, whether the temple need to be rebuilt, whether there are the festivals coming up, whether inspiring the people to come out on a Sunday morning and let's pray together, inspiring them to come out one day in the week, let's do kirtan singing. She was always inspiring people to do something. Inspiring our parents even in different ways, different aspects. And she held together a very big family. Of course, there were times that there were many challenges, but she has never stopped in those challenges, those moments that challenged her. She never stopped. She always found a way out to move forward in life. And reflecting on her life and the many, many more stories, I find that she has always been an inspiration for me. When I think of my everyday life for myself, I ask myself, what inspires me the most? What is it that I have found in myself that can inspire me to be inspired to enjoy the life I'm living, this journey that I'm on? And I find that this quality of love, it's a quality that I feel that loving God the seeds were sown from when I was a child. But coming now and belonging to God has made a great difference in terms of this quality of love. So every day I wake up feeling inspired to listen to what my lesson has to be so that I can live my day today in a different way, in a beautiful way, in a more experiential way, in something that is going to give me that which I haven't had before. I know that my study is going to take me to another step, which is closer to an aim that I'm carrying within myself. It's like today's lesson: wasteful relationships and connections empty your spiritual account. So therefore, finish all wastefulness. Now, how am I going to go through today looking at this thought that will inspire me that my spiritual income, my spiritual account with God, my spiritual account with everyone I come in contact with, it has no waste in it, but it's in fact increasing because I'm investing something that is more profoundly beautiful. And that is whether it's my remembrance or whether it's sharing something of my journey or my attainments that I've gotten from God or each other, sharing that with everyone. So it creates a feeling of inspiration. And so there is abundance. And I would say at every step of our lives, there might be things that we will feel that I can't be inspired by it, or someone will not inspire me because they're doing things in a certain way. But what I've learned is that everyone I'm getting inspired by, even when someone is expressing something that's not so pleasant, what I'm learning now is that I can transform that, I can change that with the quality that I have inside of me, the quality of love, or the quality of respect, or the quality of seeing the specialities in everyone and in everything. I'm learning from everything. And that's such a big form of inspiration. Because one can tend to go into the negative thinking, one could tend to go in a thinking that it's not going to give me benefit, and I create waste. But it's to see that and be able to find benefit in something that's not beneficial is very inspiring. And here in New York, I live with Sister Mohini, and Sister Mohini is a very big source of inspiration. And I see that there are certain qualities that she lives by. It's like principles of life. And those principles of life that she demonstrates in her life, one is the power of silence. I noticed that many times people will go to her and ask her something, and I see that she pauses. I see that she doesn't give an answer at the same time, or she would somewhere get back to them later on, or whatever the case may be. But when she emerges with a thought, it is a thought of solution. It's a thought of benefit. So that has inspired me a lot. And as I said, there are many things around her that I see that life creates a constant source of inspiration, even all those I'm living with, all the sisters, the brothers, the friends, those who come here. At every step, life has a lot of treasures to give to us, but I have to see it. I have to see it through that lens. I have to see it through that vision. Then my life becomes a life of fullness. And so really, I see everyone, you're all doing wonderful in this. And my dear Sister Geeta from LA is a source of inspiration for me. What inspires me a lot about Sister Geeta, I've known her for, I think, about maybe 38 years, 38, 39 years. And I've seen the seed qualities in the soul that has nurtured, and it has kind of blossomed and bloomed her, that what I'm seeing today is how it came from that seed. And she had always been very gentle, very sweet, very soft-spoken, very loving. There is a lot of caring in her personality. And you know what? She's the best of hosts. I'd gone to visit LA recently, was November, and I got sick. And she took care of me like a mother taking care of a child, with so much love, even bringing my breakfast to bed. And I thought, isn't this inspiring? You know, we can think of inspiration in many big ways, and we try to understand what things means in our lives. But the simple act of kindness, the simple act of love, the simple act of helping someone in a moment of need is a big source of inspiration. And so Sister Geeta has really inspired me through the journey of my life in many different ways. And so, Sister Geeta, I am so happy the two of us are together this morning to share on this topic. And so I'm sure the family is waiting to hear from you. And so let's hear from you. What's your source of inspiration?
Om Shanti. Manoj Bhai, I'm sorry that have to wait long, but I think so waited for Anjani Ban to come and she can also join with me to have this value-based program. So I'm sure you understand why I'm waited according to drama. And while Anjani Ben was sharing her experience, I just went back to my childhood. And the two symbol came in front of me, which one was the spider web and second was the flying bird. When I actually childhood more stayed in the boarding house and study because of the situations in Africa was becoming very bad. And my father was thinking where the good educations that my children can receive. So he sent us to India, and I'm glad that I got chance to stay in India and really have that foundations of the good sanskaras, what our culture gave. So when I was in a college, and I don't wanted to go in college because I studied in a girls' high school, and then when we college, there are both mixing boys and girls. I wanted something that which my heart says, yes, I done something in this my life. So I told my father, I don't want to go to college. And he gave me the example of the spider. And he says, see how many times spider climbed and how many times he fall, but he never give up to really reaches their destination. So if you not studied now in the life when you are moving forward, then you will regret in your life. And by hearing that story, I got that inspirations that no matter what, let me focus at least 1 degree I can achieve. And then afterwards, I will see what I have to do. And then my mother, from the childhood, I remember that she always says internally, you have to be like a bird, like free. Never caught up into anyone's, like, because as a child, you always have that sometimes sulking nature, sometimes you are not like a obey. But she trained us in a such a way, not just with the words, but she was also like with the act, we learn a lot. And that was my like main foundation about that. And instantly, then I came to Baba's not this spiritual knowledge. And in a spiritual knowledge, I got the first thing, play the part with Dadi Janki. And she was very good teacher. And because my background was living in the boarding house with such a discipline, and that what I observed that how much Dadi was following Baba Srimad, and she was so much like I can say very strict teacher, but now so much like appreciating that if that foundation was not that time, I don't think so what I am right now. I had really achieved that things. Dadi Janki taught me, underline actually, never say no. And when first in 1984, when Sister Chandru was here and she needed one sister to work with her, and same times Mohini Didi also needed one Kumari to play the part there also in New York. So Dadi just told me one time, leave your job and just go and go to America. And during that time, very Buddha in the sense, very innocent, don't know where America, where anything. But then because Dadi taught us, always say Hanji. And when you say Hanji means yes, please, then naturally Baba and Rama will be very cooperative. So living with my family, and Dadi told me to go. And so inside was thought, I don't know how to give knowledge. I don't know how. So everything negative like side, I don't know. That word was appear when I was in the plane. And first time I traveled by myself. And so next moment, the powerful thought came. And I felt that Baba says, who is sending you? And then as soon as I felt that this is Baba's service and Baba is the one who decided that I can go to America. And that moment, I really fell in so much deep love with Baba that he is the current Karavanar and I'm just a simply Karnar. So when I arrived New York, we had Dadi Gulzar was coming. And because of Dadi Gulzar, Dadi sent me to America. And so connecting more deeply with Dadi Janki and then afterwards played a part with Dadi Gulzar. When I came to San Francisco, during that time, I don't know how to give the 7 days lesson because in the London, we are more like a helper. Whatever Dadi says, Hanji, and we majority times our partners playing in the office and Karma Yoga also. And so here, after Dadi Gulzar, like Sister Chandru went with Dadi Gulzar on a tour. And then Sister Chandru says, okay, this is all the students are coming, so you have to give knowledge. So never says no, that word was so like in front of me. And I told Baba, I says, Baba, whoever the instrument, your children are coming in front of me, you are the one who have to give the knowledge. And really, I see how Baba really help in each and every task about that. But before, prior to that, when I left India and was coming to London, Bab Dada, during that time, Baba was coming in the history hall. And Baba personally give that blessings about that child never experienced or never felt that you are alone. Always Bab Dada, combined form you can experience about. And wherever you go, Bab Dada is with you. And you don't have to go for service will come to you. And then when I came, especially in 85 to San Francisco, hardly any student, 1 or 2 or 3 in whole day, nothing. Compare in London, every day 200 brother and sister in the morning class and here only. Then there was a little like entering of Maya, how I can survive like that, because I'm a people person. And again, one of the mother came and she says, sister, I want to ask you one question. She said that whoever comes here, you all are consider yourself as a Raj Yogi. And why in the word you says liking, disliking? Like I don't like here. And internally I was like smiling and I says, Baba, you are very clever. You gave me the answer through this soul that very true, that you dedicate your life for the spiritual service. So in that, there is no expectation. I like or I don't like. And since that, I underline, I'm here to serve. I'm here to, whatever I experience, I have to share through my vibrations or through my spiritual behavior, my spiritual interaction. And that's what inspires me by watching, observing what Sister Anjani says. Every soul has so many inner beauty, that my focus should be in that beauty. But if I see in that present time, then I don't think so I can really recognize them. And that also I got the inspirations and also learned from Avyak Bab Dada. During that time, Avyak Bab Dada was meeting personally, one to one, and I was a little bit like a bugger. But from the beginning, Baba used to come at 6 p.m. to next day, like sometimes 6 or 10. I never move from there, and I'm observed that what Baba is giving the blessings to this particular soul, that means that's my blessings too. And Baba never, like sometimes the soul's like having so much emotional feeling, and so they have a tears in their eyes, and until that soul is not happy, Baba never leave them. So I learned from that, and I got inspirations from that, that you don't see the present form of the soul, but you see what they are originally. So that was really so nice to learn about and experience about, that each and every soul have so much inner beauty, that my focus is on that. Naturally, their beauty also come out, and they can also be experience that happiness. So many experience what Baba gave, all the senior gave, and by hearing today also with all of you, so much really have to learn and also inspires others.
Wonderful sharing. Experiences of everyone's life is very inspiring. Everyone who was sharing had a story to tell in some way or another. And we get inspired because why? I want to be better in myself. If I like the way I am and the things I'm doing, and I don't have an aim in life, and I don't see that there is something more to life, we're not going to be inspired. I'm going to just expect or experience or accepting life as my destiny, or what's happening around me. I see it as someone's mistake, someone's everything. They did this, they said this, and this outer expression of all these things. And I'm kind of stuck in that, of seeing all the things that someone else is doing. But to be inspired really by the things which are not pleasant, by our challenges, and finding the gem in those challenges, and take those challenges and make it become like my swinging rope towards moving forward. It takes a lot of inner reflection. It takes a lot of inner inspiration to want to ascend, to want to go higher on this spiritual journey. Because there are many things that we could easily get stuck with. So life on hold is an inspiration. Geeta Ben, tell us one profound story of Dadi Gulzar. What you have learned from her life. It could be what she has said to you. It could be what you have seen that has stayed with you, it has molded you in some way, that helps to make things easy as you move forward on this journey of life.
I learned from both of Dadi Janki and Dadi Gulzar about the silence. One time we had a meeting with Dadi Janki, and suddenly Dadi got the stomach pain. the pain was very kind of severe. And she just signal like this, means one moment, like silence. So in that one minute, like silence, she went in, she closed her eyes and she went in a silence. And then she came back and she started where her conversation was stopped. And then continuation. Then afterwards, one of the sister asked Dadi, Dadi, how your pain disappear? She says that pain was bigger, like painful. And during that time, even I forget Baba's remembers that was the pain. But because of this, in a 1 minute of silence, I calm down that pain because I detach from that pain, and I just I don't want it to stuck into the body, and I just wanted what Baba have a role with me. So what I learned from that, that any times when bodily sickness comes, how much our body is pulling and our whole concentration power goes on that, and the pain bigger like a bigger. But when I'm really detaching from that pain and remembering like the Baba, so what happened that detachment from the body will give us that spiritual strength, and whatever task you are doing, you are continuous. So whenever bodily sickness comes, I remember like she's my inspirational that in that also age, how she actually made manage, I can also do that. And touch wood, it's really helping me. Dadi Guzar, she was not too much use the words, but with her drashti and with her silence is really makes the thing such a kind of a move in a very divine mix. Dadi was very royal. I do remember one time, um, very personal experience about I came from um, Los Angeles, and it was like long journey. It's almost like 36 hours to reach that Mount Tabu, and it was a little bit evening time. So I freshened up self and I went to Dadi's room, and afterwards I was little like kind of sleepy. So I told Dadi's right hand Niluban that I'm going to my room and I want to rest. And Dadi says, no, just go and rest in a next room, like her room, and there was another room. Just go there, rest. And you know that 13 and a half hour time difference. And when I went, I just fell asleep. And it was midnight, almost like a 10 o'clock. And Dadi was asking the sister that if she awake, she will be hungry. So where we can keep the food? The sister says we'll keep the food in the kitchen, so she will eat. And Dadi says how she will know the food is in the kitchen. So let's make near the bed, so then when she awakes, at least she will eat. They make Dadi was giving them guidance how to put the dish, where to put spoon, and the food should be warm in this like hot place you can put. And then in the morning, when the sisters like shared the story, I had a loving tears that who am I that Dadi had to think about that the food become like warm and she is when she awakes she will be hungry. So by she became like an inspiration that whoever comes in our life, and so how you treat each and every souls, they are a royal person. So really, I learned from that. And then at the end, I got the fortune to be there when Dadi left the body. And during that time, last like weeks, 2 or 3 weeks ago, what I experienced about that Dadi's more communication with Drishti. And during that time, one of the Dadi's doctor, when he came and he was very kinds of little bit in a worry. So Daddy just looked at him, and there was a picture, and in that picture, like Baba's picture, and written in that, why you are worried? I am there. So Daddy simply give the with the signal, the eye like signal, that picture. So doctor also looked that picture, and he got his answer. Second time when he came here to make very decision, so he was little bit pale, and Daddy just that with that vibrations, there was another picture, and it's written, no matter what, your happiness should not go. So Daddy with the drishti, she only looked at picture. So doctor also see that picture, and then he got this answer. So I was watching, observing that with the drishti, with the signal, how much you don't need the words, because words is also like energy, unnecessary. But with that silence, drishti, how much you can communicate also. So that was like seeing that in our mind sometimes the waste thought, and that waste thought also, Baba says, within a second you put the full stop. But by practicing this way, that with that inner silence, you can achieve, you can attain, you can inspire, you can share anything with that power. That much like Baba, all these dadis, Savyak Bab Dada really taught us how to be your inner silence. So that was my really kind of powerful like experience about.
Yeah, quite interesting. And that reminds me, Geeta Ben is talking about Dadi Janki and her method of how she dealt with her body. And I have seen Dadi in very crucial moments, really, with her body. It's like real big challenge. And how she goes into that deep state of silence, stay with Baba, and then emerge to play her part like nothing happened a couple of hours ago or the evening before, and she's there in the morning conducting Amrit Vela as though there was nothing, or even a few hours later, she's in the class. I've seen her in Peace Village quite a bit when that has happened. And that actually inspired me in my personal life, that when I had to go through challenges with my body, big time challenges, and where it was surgeries and it was chemo and it was all these things that was happening. And for me, it was like a breeze. It was like, as they say, just like a cool wind that just blows through, and you remain uninfluenced, unaffected, not feeling any pressure of any kind from what's happening to the body. And because we have learned this art from seeing our seniors, how they have separated their consciousness from the physical. So it's a very deep source of inspiration for anyone who goes through challenges of the body, of the physical. What's my step? What do I do? How do I step away from going into suffering and just being the light, being in my own light and being in the light with God, and feeling this relationship and companionship to make everything become so easy and very natural. And so Dadi Janki was that source of inspiration for me. And when I met her, it was like I was out of the hospital during my time of chemo. I used to have to go into the hospital regularly because I was like, being affected by it more than it's like an allergic reaction in a way. So every treatment was taking me to the hospital, and I never could have finished the treatment. So then Dadi said to me when she saw me, and it was just like a few days when I was out of the hospital, I left the hospital and said, I have to go and meet Dadi. She was coming to Peace Village. And when she saw me, She hugged me, she said, "You're Prakriti Jeet," right? You're conqueror of matter. And that has stayed with me, that this is a blessing. So one is inspiration of one's life. The other is when they speak from their own experience of inspiration. Their words are not telling something to you, but they're blessing you. It's giving you a strength, it's giving you an insight, it's giving you a power that you realize that when there are moments that other difficulties and challenges come up with the body or with anything, you realize that these challenges, you can face them because of blessings. And so life becomes easy with that. And so even when I think of my grandmother's story, I feel that the seeds that she has sowed in the soul of holding a big family and creating this relationship of love among everyone and all these beautiful things, she sowed the seeds that being here in New York, I'm not in Harmony House for just Harmony House, Baba's children, but I'm here in New York because Sister Mohini is here. And of course, she is the regional coordinator, and now she's the administrative head, additional administrative head for the organization. And being here is a lot of players and a lot of things that goes on the drama. And what is also seen from us being here. So putting all those things, you have to be inspired in yourself from these souls and how they play their part. And so when I think of Moini Didi, I think that she plays her role in a very, very interesting way. And when I say interesting, because there's a lot of detachment. There is a lot of detachment from her personality, from what she thinks, from what maybe of her own self. And she puts all of that aside and just go to God, go to the Supreme Source, go to the dadis, the seniors, the elders for her, go to Brahma Baba's life and pull and extract those jewels, or what did they do and how did they do it, and all of that, and guide us in terms of how can we grow, how can we become more rich and more supportive and sustaining in this yagya. And so it's not an organization. I always say that we don't belong to an organization. We belong to God. And what God has created and taught us, we have taken that and organized ourselves to serve in this yagya. Yagya is all of us coming together in this beautiful, godly, sacred space, the space of love, the space of peace, the space of happiness, but most important is the space of purity. And so all of us coming together in this beautiful space, what are we creating for the world? We're creating that, and each one of us in this program today, and those who are out into the world there and will one day listen to this, each one of you, you are a source of inspiration for the world in some way. But what I need to do is to remember. I need to remember that whatever I think, whatever I do, whatever I speak, anything that I am part of, when I'm in the awareness of who I am, whom I belong to, where I'm going in this journey, whom I'm meeting in this journey, we will find that inspiration will emerge very easily and naturally. I don't have to look for inspiration. I don't have to think of inspiration. I don't have to be puzzled in life about what's happening. Even the earthquake yesterday was a source of inspiration. So everything becomes an inspiration in our life that will create newness. It will create experiences. It will create that which will take me to a higher place within myself. And that's where each one of us want to go. We want to go to a different place. So I would say, let's find and discover every day whatever I'm seeing and touching and being with through these senses. Can I change my vision if it's going in a wrong way to create not so pleasant experiences, but change it and see that in that which I feel that it's not helping me to be beautiful inside, let me find out, let me take a moment to discover that something is there which is wanting to offer me, but I'm closing my vision to it. Let me find it. So I have to give myself, move to that place of silence and quietness again and again, so that I can experience what is it that I want to experience, to change the circumstances in my life that removes me from a life of inspiration, whether for myself, whether for others, in whatever I do. I'm not too sure how much more time we have.
No, so we have 15 more minutes, so you can carry on next 10 minutes also. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. And so, Geeta Ben, in your personal life, what is that quality you find that you have that sometimes is being challenged? You know, that sometimes our goodness challenges us. And so what is that quality that you find you have in you that sometimes it's being challenged, but you've used your different methods and means to hold on to it and is being able to use it regardless what's the situation?
Silence power, I can say. And what I really experienced about then, I learned from Dadi Gulzar about the last like kinds of moment. During that time, there was a COVID was going on, and there was so much announcement from the Madhuban that Dadi Gulzar's health is not good, so we all should like meditate and send our good vibrations. And what I saw that time, that Dadi became an like an instrument, and because of that, everyone got chance to do more yoga power and strengthen themselves, because so many sorrows and negativity and worried was around in the world. And because of this power of silence and meditating, everybody more like I can experience became a mature and grown up also. But Dadi became a, like an instrument during that time. And the practice, what I observe about these 3 years, detachment from the body. Maybe souls was like thinking about why Dadi's is like God's like chariot and why she's sick. But it was her time, because 1969 to 2017, unconditionally, long hour times that he gave the service to Baba's children and a yagya also. And but that 3 years was the observations of detachment from the body. And whenever any challenge comes, whenever sometimes blame also some unnecessary comes, but that like detachment from the body and bodily relations or bodily any types of the around us, when I'm detached about that, it's not affecting the soul. And it's not easy. And that's why saying that it's like every now and then, this is the practice of detachment helps us to be myself and what the divine being have part for me. I can focus, play, and again detach. So what I'm practicing last, and again observation of Sister Chandru 2 years prior to that, and something like divinity appear in her, and constantly from her mouth there was a 3 words was appearing, and that was really very inspirations for me. Every now and then she was telling that we are so fortunate, and being a Brahmins, if we can see that what we receive in this our spiritual this life, it's our fruit of good karma, that we belong or we are in a spiritual path. Second thing she was always says, be loving. And her form was so much loving, caring, even before we know that certain things she didn't like it. But then afterwards, she was so much love. And that was that whoever comes in front of me, whether they are challenging me or whether they are negative about or criticize about, but still my focus is on the soul and loving being. And third, because of she got the stroke like 5 times, and her memories in some area when she was speaking, the words was not coming out. And very divine smile, she says, never mind. She never feel like guilty about, oh, these words is not or any types of sorrow or pain, but so much divine smile. And that was learning that no matter what challenges come from the outside, you should never let go of your divinity, your spirituality, or your divine manners about. I only can say to all of you that we always have so much conversations with God, Supreme Being, Baba. So instead of that, now listen to Baba and listen to your heart. We know actually, we know the question, what the challenge comes from outside. Sometimes we know that, but we don't have that sometimes courage, or we are so much caught up about that negativity, so you don't know the answer. But every minute, if you listen to your heart, you know what to say, what not to say. And when you listen to Baba, he constant inspiring us what to do, what not to do. And if I listen these 2 things, our journey is very smooth. And that's what I learned from all these our dadis and from all of you also, that how we can really live this life very happily.
Right. And when I think of my last thoughts on inspiration, I would say, when I can't be inspired by myself, or I can't be inspired by the people around me, or any of the things, they're kind of on the back burner at that moment, and you're faced by situations that take away your happiness, your zeal and enthusiasm, find Mother Nature. She's beautiful. She's always giving. I was remembering seeing Shruti Ben, how she took me to the Grand Canyon and how beautiful that was, And then I look at spring right now. Some can get stuck in the cold days, but just to think that it's spring, you go out there, watch the beautiful flowers emerging, the fragrance of the flowers. It's like so much. The birds returning, nature is just creating a whole beautiful world, new world around us. There is so much to be inspired by. But I have to, as I said before, I've got to see it. I've got to realize that I must not get stuck in anything, but just see around you. There is lots to be inspired by at every step. I think we're going to take 2 minutes and just have a couple of minutes of remembrance. And so let's sit quietly and let's see what is it that I have within myself now that I'm aware of, that I feel inspired. I could be inspired for mastering the art of how I use this body. I could be inspired by going out and being with Mother Nature, or even being inspired by being with those who create difficulties even in my life. And to see that there is nothing like difficulties. I just need to be inspired to find the goodness, to find the specialities, to find the beauty. And everything changes in 1 second. The more I remember, the changes happen in 1 second thought. It becomes a source of power. It becomes a source of strength to reach God, to be with God and to receive His powers, whether in the form of wisdom, whether in the form of a pure thought, in the form of feeling and experiencing that which the soul needs, is very inspiring. I just need to be in that awareness, reminding myself that inspiration is like the breath of my life. To see newness, to be new, to live a renewed life every day. In our hearts, let's give this feeling of gratitude to everyone, everything, in whatever form it comes in front of us. That the heart feels as though it's saying, thank you. Thank you for inspiring me to be a better person. Let's have 30 seconds where our hearts speaks to everyone, everything, and to be with God. Om Shanti. Om Shanti, and thank you everyone. Geeta Ben, it was lovely to be with you here today too.
Okay, so thank you so much. And before we let you all go, I'll just request Sister Claudia to please propose the vote of thanks. Over to you. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, Shanti, good morning. It's so nice to have both of you together with us. So it's very inspiring. And I was just listening about the childhood. So I can see, like, when we have a good childhood, so many things our parents teach us, no? So we use throughout the whole time that we are in this body. So they are going to remember things that they told us how to do in life. And very inspired also, I like to see Geeta Ben, when she's very detached and very silent. And Anjani also very loving as well. So yeah, through times like when we are going through difficult times. I remember Daddy, one time I was meeting her with my husband, and Daddy was so frail, so weak. And then the sister was saying, Daddy, you need to go to talk. There's lots of people waiting. So she got up and she went, and then he was saying, how can she go? She's so frail. But when she got there, she was another Daddy. So much power coming through her. And I never forget that because I could see the picture before and after when she got there. And so many times that inspires me a lot too. No matter what is happening in our life, we need to just let go and then do whatever we have to do. Like right now, with so many things happening in my life too. And then still challenge comes from outside as well. So that's, we have to go back, like Gita said, Daddy Guzar, just go detach and just go into silence, because silence is going to bring us the power to face whatever comes. So was very inspired to listen to both of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And very nice to meet you too.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Sister Claudia. And before we wrap up, I'll just request Sister Anu, if you can please set up for the photograph, and I'll just do the quick announcements in the next minute so that people are aware of the next. So let's move on to the next episode, a beautiful number 88. We have covered compassion in the past, but we felt compassion is different from both these pathies, sympathy and empathy. And in the medical world, these two, there's always a bit of tussle argument. What should doctors and paramedics be, or nurses, empathetic or sympathetic? So we'll see that with Sister Moira, who will be joining us from Argentina the next Saturday. And again, we have another combo of two Rajyogi sisters who are Alokik sisters and also very much Lokik. Now we move on from USA to Canada. And again, one is from East Coast, Montreal, Sister Tanya, and Sister Judy, not from the West, but the mountain time close to the West Coast, Sister Judy from Calgary. And both of these sisters will be having a beautiful conversation as we are having today very much. Again, the East Coast and West Coast on the sympathy and empathy aspect of the values. And as always, we'll be starting our journey for the next 2 weeks, revising the Murlis, what the Supreme Being has told us in the versions on sympathy and empathy as well. And this is an elegant calendar for the April month. We'll be sending it to you all in the emails when we send you all the review materials. These are our websites and our email addresses, and all these are recorded, the workshops and the episodes. Please feel free to, we'll be sending in the emails, so you can please feel free to watch the ones which you have missed, and kindly share your comments and feedback if any. With this, I'll just stop sharing the screen and over to Sister.
It's time for photograph with our beautiful two senior sisters in spirituality. They have inspired us so deeply. They've reminded us also about Chandruben and Mohini Didi, other than Dadi, both Dadis actually. So it's really, heart is full, inspired, then show the smile, open your video. You like to be photo? Everyone? Yes, I got the photo. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we have already had the meditation. So we'll just have 1 minute drishti and then depart. So you can spotlight. time to sing of the love, the joy inside, the presence it's so divine. So let us begin to dance with the grace, the beauty within, the grace and the beauty we are. So open up the heart that sees this presence so divine. Behold the light in everyone. Let your beauty shine. Now is the time to sing of love, the joy inside, the presence it's so divine. So let us begin to dance with the grace and the beauty within, the grace and the beauty we are. So open up the heart that sees this presence so divine. Behold the light in everyone. Let your beauty shine. So thank you so much once again.
Thank you. See you again, everyone. Thank you, both sisters.
Thank you. Thank you.